tell you it has been a long time. And I do mean a long time since I've seen that video play. My goodness, I miss it. I do miss back in the day doing that show and learned a lot of things and got to meet a lot of really cool people and interact with some people that I actually really admired myself during that time. So, once again, as always, to Ben and Joe for the UFO Garage podcast. Thank you for that time that I did have with you guys and being able to interview some of the people who did along the way. So, today, though, my guest, as usual with these random Sundays anymore, is going to be my very own son, Liam. And today he wanted to talk about Krampus. So we didn't have an exact plan on this. We don't have like in exact details what all we're going to go into. And there may very well be, I can guarantee you, some background noise as his sisters, Brooklyn and Ezra, are always jealous whenever we bring the ever-talented and the up-and-coming Liam on to discuss Krampus. Liam, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on the show here. Thank you for making time in your afternoon on this Sunday to come and hang out. And I'm going to wait till I get the thumbs up from him, and then I will bring him on here. So here we go. We're going to bring him on stage and see what we get. Welcome to the show, Liam. How are we doing today?
Good.
Doing good? Glad to hear. So as some of the folks know, we've covered some other things in the past here. What was the last thing we actually covered? Do you remember what the last thing was we even covered, Liam? What was the last thing? It was
The last one we did?
Yeah, I think we turned. I think you turned up your echo just a little bit. Turn it down just a little bit, buddy. There we go. Let's try that out. Yeah, we covered. I believe it was Stranger Things and D&D, right? That was like what we were talking about. We're like, well, let's cover D&D, and obviously they play D&D and Stranger Things, and we just wanted to kind of integrate how we felt that those two things overlapped with one another. So. But today we're going to be discussing Krampus. So, Liam, what is your impression, or what was the first time, if you can think about it in your life, hearing about Krampus? What did that mean to you the first time you even heard the name?
Remember the one Christmas before? I think it was like the night before Santa came.
Yeah.
But that night, I remember he said, "Do you remember the other Santa?" I was like, "What?" And he was saying, "Krampus." That's the first time I heard the name of it.
I gotcha. And then once we covered him just a little bit, do you think you were more interested in Krampus at that point, or kind of what were your feelings, I guess, once we explained who and what Krampus was just a little bit?
Like the first one kind of scared me a little bit when I first saw it because he was stealing children, right? But I did think it was crazy that they are partners, Santa and Krampus.
Yeah. Well, and that is, and it can be interesting, as far as the different lore, like in anything, in any part of history, there's lore wherever we go in the world. And again, we can't take lore as always rock solid evidence, right? And knowing that something is absolutely that way, but it at least lets us know that there has been a history of that story. So what I'm going to do is I just want to read a couple little snippets about what Krampus is about. And then maybe we can pop up a photo. You want me to share a photo of what Krampus looks like for people to see maybe?
Yeah,
That's okay. Yeah, just turn your body. There you go. Perfect, buddy.
Yeah, you have to take a picture of it so they could see.
Oh, Krampus? Here, I'll throw this up right now. Here, we'll bring this up. So this is for some people that may be interested. This is kind of roughly what he looks like, right? And obviously there's different depictions of this. There's different types of Krampus, I guess you could say. But in a nutshell, these are some of the different depictions. And obviously there's many different ones. And people cosplay them. I'm sorry, go ahead, Liam.
I was just saying I think there's only 5 movies of it.
Well, and that's true, yes. Yes, they've most certainly made movies, but obviously these are some of the more original depictions of kind of what he looked like. And then these are the modern day festivals that take place because there's, especially in Germany, which is primarily where Krampus's backstory and history began. That's where you get a lot of them. But you are right. Most people don't know this. Like you were talking about, like the kind of like somewhat mixed relationship between Krampus and Santa Claus, right? So that's just some of the rough looking photos, give or take, of what Krampus looks like. So let's dig into it just really quick. I'm going to read just a little bit about who and what Krampus is. So it says, every holiday has a dark side to it, even Christmas. A German folk tale from as early as the 1600s about St. Nicholas, evil twin or devilish companion known as Krampus, a name meaning claw. It is said that Krampus is part of a pagan's rituals, is part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice. Legend also has it that his son of hell, the son of
Your
hell,
voice is
yeah,
is glitching a lot.
my voice is glitching.
Yeah, it's glitching a lot.
Oh, well, I appreciate the heads up. I will have to check and see if it's my internet connection. I'll have to see what's going on with that. But I'll just read just a little bit further here. So, the son of Hel, the Norse god of the underworld. Stories say that Krampus is a half goat, half demon monster that is 7 foot tall, hairy, with bulging eyes, a whip like tongue, pointed ears, horns up on the top of his head. Now, just that alone would be pretty scary, but it is also said that he carries a pitchfork, a more traditional bundle of birch switches. So he carries not only the actual pitchfork, but he has these switches. What do you think he does with the switches, dude?
The switches.
Like, do you think
Wait, are you
do you think
talking?
he stinks or like swats anybody with those?
Probably.
Probably. Do you think that, first of all, if you've seen something that was that 7 foot tall, that'd be terrifying?
Yeah, because it's like one more foot of you, right?
Yeah, at least, right? Um, and then to have like the whip like tongue and all this stuff, that'd be interesting. So his job is to accompany Saint Nicholas on his trip, and on December 5th, oh boy, Krampusnacht. Krampus night? I'm sure I murdered that, guys. They both go around, and while St. Nicholas gives the good children gifts as a reward, Krampus' job is to take care of the naughty list. Krampus goes through the town with mismatched feet, one cloven hoof, the other a bear-like claw. So you could say man, bear, pig. I'm just kidding. That's not on there. But it does say one cloven hoof and the other a bear-like claw, and punishes misbehaving children by beating them with branches and sticks. Some say that if the kids are really bad, Krampus eats them or drags them to hell. What are your thoughts on that, I guess, now, Liam? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, it would be. Well, did it say like you would come back or not? Because you'll probably stay there.
I think I think you go there. I think it's one of those places that's like a one-way kind of ticket, generally speaking, right? It doesn't really. I mean, it just says if you're too bad, he will beat you or even drag you to hell, which that seems a bit extreme. When December 6th comes, either kids wake up with presents or have to aid their injuries if they are lucky to receive that over the alternative.
Wait, I
With the
thought they had
spread,
like the coal, right?
well, that seems to be, so that's the difference, right? This is like
Yeah.
the difference of what they set up in Germany or in like that part of the region, the tale and the lore that spread, whereas in the West more, or especially with, well, that's not true, because even in like throughout most of Europe, they have like Papu Shisho, or like they have all the different forms of Santa Claus. So I guess this is like a very specific thing to Germany mainly. But yeah, here in the States or in the United States, we get coal in our stockings if you're a bad child. Whereas there, you will be beaten with these sticks that he had, right? What kind of sticks did he had? A pitchfork, a bundle of birch switches. So either he'll switch you with a switch, or he will drag you to hell if you're too bad, which is like a little extreme. So after that, he says, they received the alternative. With the spread of Christianity, Krampus became associated with Christmas despite efforts by the Catholic Church to ban him. There is a festivity that involves celebrating Krampus. It's called, oh boy, Krampusnacht. It's just called Krampus Run, essentially. An activity where people dress up as the creature and parade through the streets, scaring spectators and sometimes chasing them. This event involves an intense amount of alcohol, Late in the 20th century, amid efforts to preserve cultural heritage, Krampus Run increased in popularity in Austria and Germany. Around this time, Krampus became celebrated internationally. The monster's growing appeal was evidenced by many horror films. And then, Liam, you said you thought there were 5 horror films?
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm counting on here. There was one. It was called Rare Exports in 2010. Then it was called Krampus, the Christmas Devil, 2013. Then Krampus, the Reckoning, 2015. A Christmas Horror Story, 2015. A Krampus, 2015. So the point being, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different movies. So that is quite a bit. But that is really all I have as far as a quick little snippet as to who and what Krampus is. Liam, now that we've gotten that out there for the people, let's you and I just break it down a little bit. What are your, I guess, feelings on that idea of? Do you think it's like completely real, or do you think people like maybe kept adding on to the story? You know, like something can happen, and then people, you can drop that part off, buddy. You don't even have to keep that on if you don't want to, because I know it keeps falling off. Do you think that maybe there was a creature like this at one point, and people just kept adding on to the story to make the legend grow, or do you think it's just like, nah, none of it's true?
Probably back then it was. Probably back then it was real. Then like now, probably not.
Okay, so back then you think there was probably more than likely a Krampus or something of that nature, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add or say about Krampus? Because I know I've been talking away. So what would you like to say about him as our guest for this evening? Our expert in Krampus, I guess, for the evening here. Afternoon, I should say.
You know how like devils look like?
I mean, I know the depictions of devils, yeah.
Yeah. You know, yeah, you already said it pretty much, but I feel like he's much more different than a devil because mostly devils have multiple faces, right? Or is that angels?
Well, they can vary for both. It can really depend. Um, there are most certainly angels that have the multiple eyes. I mean, the depictions of angels can vary pretty broadly. But like to their point of what they talked about at the end of that, which is when modern day Christianity, and specifically the Catholic Church, came along and kind of revised what an angel and a demon looked like. But most could say that yes, the depiction that we all know of as like gargoyles. What the French toast is it called? Gargoyle? Or
Gorgile.
thank you so much, buddy, because Daddy was really struggling with that. You're so smart. Um, most people have like perceived those as like that's what demons look like, and then the angels were the classic, looks like a human with 2 wings and glowing kind of deal, right? Um, so yeah, I think it's well, I'll let you continue with the talk. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Talking about what? Oh, you know how like devils they're like half goat. Sometimes they're like other animals, but he's like half goat, right? He's only like the goat.
The Krampus, he
Yeah.
has the body, if we remember correctly. Let's go back up and read this just a little bit. It says that he has, yeah, it says that he is a half goat, half demon monster that is 7 foot tall, hairy with bulging eyes, whip-like tongue, pointed ears, horns up on the top of his head. So yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like the devil, as it were, or the idea, the depiction again of some of the modern day Christianity versions of what they think a devil could look like. So it's not impossible. Oh, it looks like Liam's responding to his many listeners. I apologize. But well, what I'd like to ask then, I guess, if I could, because I know you said you had some other things you wanted to talk about. So besides Krampus, what else interests you? What else do you like to research in your free time?
Wait, what?
Oh, what else do you like to research in your free time?
Like when I'm at school.
Yes.
At school, I mostly like type in about like when I have a free time at school, or they send me somewhere else where I can have like a private time.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, they like put me out in the hallways sometimes. Um, I normally just look, like, if it's free time, I mostly look up, like, how old games are. And when I did look up, I said what is the loudest, or what is the first video game made, and it showed Pong, right? Was it Pong?
Was Pong? Yeah, Pong probably was. I mean, I can look that up, but I would think that at least, I would say at very least it was the first video game that was sold, right, that I'm aware of. But we can look that up.
And that's about it, what I have on my free time. Mostly I do other games like 3D Dash, Geometry Dash, or other ones.
Okay, let's look it up, buddy. We're gonna read this, which you were correct. Let me see if I can get a photo of this really quick. Maybe we can. Let me see. I'm going to open this in a new tab. So, Liam, here was the first one. By the way, thank you for putting that out there about the like and subscribe. Yes, guys, if you'd ever like, I promise we will get back and doing some full, big, deep dive episodes. But these have been fun to kind of keep up and just catch up with my son, hanging out with him. So, let's see, Liam, we're going to pull up this right here. Let's check out this photo, guys. This is what the original, let me zoom in on this just a little more here. Do you remember this, Liam? Or you wouldn't remember this, I guess, but some of our listeners, well, let's pull it up actually. And this is what the original one looked like. So the first video game, guys, this is on October.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Finn has that one. Finn has the controller.
Yeah, they make a lot of the retro games now to throw back to that. But I didn't realize it was this old. Liam, how old do you think the first, like, what year do you think the first video game came out in, if you just had to guess?
Was it like in the 30s? I thought it was like 30s.
No, not quite that far back.
Was
if
it
you had
like
to guess, the 30s,
60s,
40s, 50s, or 60s, what do you think?
60s and 50s. One of those two.
Okay, you're really close. I'll give that one to you because it says October 1958. And I got to be honest, guys, I thought that Pong came out in like the 70s for some reason. But it says in October 1958, physicist William Higginbotham created what is thought to be the first video game. It was a very simple tennis game, similar to the classic 1970 video game Pong. Oh, so Daddy was right. Okay. So we're thinking of Pong, which is, they are saying did come out in the 1970s, and it was quite a hit at the Brookhaven National Laboratory Open House. So it was technically a little bit different. It says possibly the first video game created by Simple Entertainment was 1958 Tennis for Two, featuring moving graphics on an oscilloscope. What, the French toast? Oh, on the... Nope, that's the wrong one. But that would be close, buddy. That's the 1958 version. So essentially, it was in 1958 that came out, which is, it's a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else do we have to see? If you get a chance, guys, what we'll probably do, unless you have anything else to add, Liam, we're coming up on about the 20-minute mark. Do you want to wrap this one up and complete this episode?
Sure.
You have anything you'd like to add, though? Now's the time. If there's anything you want to add or say, please feel free to do so.
Well, I don't really have anything to say, but yeah, I might be it.
Okay. Well, I want to just thank each and every one of you for joining us. I truly do appreciate you guys hanging out. Liam, I want to thank you for coming on this afternoon and spending your time with me, educating us a little bit and just bringing some attention to the Krampus, which they said is ever gaining popularity these days. So I just want to thank you for that. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, whoever you are listening out there in the great mystical world that we know as the internet and the ether of time that seems to encapsulate all these memories. So we shall see. Maybe you're watching this now. Maybe you're watching it in the future. But all we want to say is bye. And we do appreciate you being here with us. Here, we'll put it up there for everybody. Yes, we'll say goodbye to everybody. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap the show up. And just know, just think about it. Next time Christmas rolls around. Oh my goodness, there's children on here now. Well, all right, it's time to get out of here, my friends. I'm going to put him backstage. But just think about it. Next time you think it's all fun and games. It's just Christmas, right? Just know, Krampus may be leaking. Not leaking. Sneaking is the word I wanted. I don't know where that came from. In the shadows, waiting. So remind those children, they do need to listen, because you never know who's waiting just around the corner. Stay curious, my friends, and keep it weird. Peace, love, and taco grease.